when you think of pesto, you think of what's known as Genovese pesto. It's made with basil and Parmigiano cheese and pine nuts and garlic, right? We're going to make one that's a little bit different. We're going to make it with our green bean broccoli. Now, we all know of broccoli as the vegetable your mother tells you should eat, but it actually has proven scientifically to be a cancer fighter. Not just because it has antioxidants, which we all love, we think, at least it's in our skincare, right? But it actually contains an antioxidant known as sulforaphane, which has been shown to break down the RNA of cancer cells, preventing them from clustering, which is what causes metastatic cancer. So, broccoli should be on your table. We are going to grind it in a bowl that's known as a suribachi. It's a little bit different than a mortar and pestle because the bowl is grooved, so it allows grinding to be done a little more easily. So we're just going to grind the broccoli down. If my grandmother was here, my nonna would say, "Ooh, you're using modern technology." When she made pesto, everything was chopped by hand to the most minuscule of pieces. So she would be like, "Ooh, we got all modern, now we have a bowl," right? So you just want to partially begin the smashing process. Then we're going to take and add to this skillet pine nuts and walnuts. This little nut is much more powerful than you would imagine. They did a 15-year study on people who ate 15% of their diet as walnuts. They cut their serum cholesterol in half, as in half of a whole, half. So you should eat walnuts. We're going to lightly pan toast them so that they take on a stronger flavor and the oils in the nuts begin to soften, so to speak, so you can digest them more easily. When you're sauteing nuts or dry roasting nuts like this, particularly if you're using pine nuts, you don't get to walk away. You don't get to go have a coffee, walk the dog, right? You got to finish them right here because they quickly go from one shade golden and delicious to burnt. And it's right up there with garlic is burnt pine nuts. Terrible flavor. So as soon as they turn maybe a shade darker, they go right in on top of your broccoli. Now we'll add to it some extra virgin olive oil. Be generous here, you're making pesto. And I like to add a little bit of brown rice syrup. It just makes it a little bit richer and sweeter. It's just me. Then we're going to take some garlic, smash it, coarsely chop it. You want to coarsely chop it because if you put the whole clove in the suribachi, you're going to be here making pesto for about a week. So you want to give yourself a little bit of a head start. And then the Parmigiano flavor comes from white miso. So we're going to take about 2 tablespoons. It's going to go right in there. Then we take the surikoji, which is the pestle, and now we're going to smash this. Now, my grandmother would make a very coarse pesto so that you could still recognize the broccoli. You can stay here doing this or use a food processor and create a smooth, creamy pesto. It's not what I'm used to. So I tend to make one where you can still recognize the broccoli. So we'll just keep smashing this around a little bit to make sure that the miso is well blended. And then as soon as it's the texture that I like, you'll know. Your pesto will tell you. It'll be like, yes, I'm ready. The oil is emulsified in there. It's well blended. You don't see miso. You can still see the nuts a little bit. Beautiful. So then over here, we have our fettuccine cooking. Now the fettuccine is not cooking in a gigantic pot of water running around, right? In Naples, where my family's from, they cook pasta in less water. Go ahead, ask me why. Why? Because you want to taste the pasta, not the water. If you cook it in too much water, as we're used to in America, you taste water. You want to taste pasta. And you salt your pasta water generously so that you taste the pasta. Once you have it beautifully in your bowl, like this, you're going to come over here, take your pesto, Now, if this was the northern part of Italy where pesto was born, they serve their pasta with pesto just like this. Right on top, in the center, no stirring it in. In the south, we're a little more robust. We stir everything in. But we're going to do this northern style to give it its due. So you put your broccoli and your pine nuts and your walnuts on top. Then you take some roasted red peppers for garnish. It's not only beautiful, but it's the colors of the Italian flag. Get it? So you have a perfect cancer-fighting, completely yummy pasta with pesto. It's the best.